Hey guys, it's modelling time, and today we're heading off to Coventry Air Museum for their winter model show, which I didn't even know was a thing. It's the 4th of December today when the show is going, and I'm leaving at like 9 AM. It's going to take me a good couple of hours to get there, but we're going to be there for the majority of the show. I think we're only missing like the first hour. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm so excited. I love Coventry Museum. It's one of my favourite aviation museums, so let's go. Welcome to the Midlands Air Museum in Coventry. This museum is one of my favourites. I think Coventry and Newark are some of my favourites, and I've been here so many times, and I always love this entrance with the really great model shop that's in the entrance. Now, this show itself is held by the museum rather than the local model club, and has much more of a focus on vendors and traders rather than model displays and club stands, which, you know, is fine. It's different. It's a really good way to get some new deals just before Christmas. Of course, the museum still has full access to all the aircraft that are outside and inside. Just bear in mind that if you are visiting on one of the club days, whether it's the summer model show or the winter model show, you are going to have some of your views obstructed by either vehicles or clubs. It's just the nature of any model shows that are in museums, but having been here a million times, it's not really much of an issue for me. But if you're wanting to go for the museum side of it, you might want to plan going there separately if you want to just sort of experience the aircraft sort of fully and be able to see them uninterrupted, so to speak. But it's a fantastic collection here. I've always loved the two Lightnings here, having the Saudi one next to the RAF one. It just looks stunning. There's obviously the Hind here, a lot of Cold War aircraft and some newer aircraft as well. One of my favourite ones at this museum is the PZL-TS11 Iskra, which is at the end that you can see just popping into the screen. But this is sort of a walk around the entire outside. I have done it quite quickly because I don't want to, you know, encourage you not to visit by just watching this video. I think everyone should try and attend this when they can. It's in quite a central location, being in Coventry, so it's a really good museum to go to when you get the opportunity, and obviously it really helps them out. This is the restoration hangar. You can see the now they're restoring, which I think used to be the finished one. There's a cockpit of Victor in there, and many years ago I was in there for a model show myself. So this is just taking you through the entrance of the museum itself, which gives you a bit more of a general but also local overview of aviation, and the museum does have a really good focus on aviation in the local area. The upstairs, which I'm not going to go through entirely in this video today, goes through the history in particular of Armstrong Whitworth and their last project, and there's a couple of models that are absolutely fantastic of the, what I view as sort of A400 C17 competitor that unfortunately never came to be, but was a fascinating project. As you can see as well, the museum is well supplied with models. I'm assuming these are mainly from the local model club, but this entire back wall is filled with models, and I think it's a really good way to show the vast variety of aircraft that were in service, obviously in the UK and internationally, and see things in schemes that we might not see anymore, because obviously museums have limited space, and this is a way for you to go, okay, that one's outside and it's that size, so it, you know, the other aircraft is probably this size or that size. And yeah, I think there's a lot of good for models being in museums, I think. Obviously this is the V-Force display here. You saw the front end of it earlier. This is just sort of the inside of it in a bit more detail, with the Valiant, Vulcan and the Victor. Obviously the Victor being my favourite. Really lovely display with all different colours and schemes as well. This is one of the only things I'm showing you from upstairs, which is sort of a World War I diorama, which is absolutely huge, absolutely stunning display. I just can't imagine how much work went into this. It looks absolutely phenomenal. I've said absolutely 3 times, it's just how much my brain is struggling to process the awesomeness of this display. It's honestly superb. I love seeing it every single time I go. It's phenomenal, honestly. Probably one of the best dioramas I think I've ever seen anywhere. But let's get into the model show itself, and we're starting with Coventry and Warwickshire. Obviously this is the local club. Now, having a look at their display, there are a couple of things that really caught my eye, particularly that G91 with a Harrier over there. Not sure where that's from. I think there's probably some writing on it that I missed, unfortunately. But this is a really varied display, really lovely, and there's the Grinch at the end in time for Christmas as well, and a lot of sci-fi and World War II elements. Really good selection, to be honest. This display, I think, does a fantastic job of showing how sort of clear resin or water effects can be used, because seeing the horses drink from that just looks amazing. This Harrier and G91 is so dynamic, plus I obviously really like the Fiat GR91, so seeing it in this setting is just really cool. And the Portuguese markings, I think, always look really pretty snazzy. I don't know what it is about Portuguese camouflage, it just looks really nice, and the Harrier also looks great. These World War I soldiers just look so full of character and it looks amazing. And these children sitting here watching soldiers passing them by. These cheerleaders here just vibing, to be perfectly honest. And the Grinch is here to steal all of our Christmas presents. We've also got this X302 from Stargate, which I instantly recognise and was really happy to see. We're now heading over to the What If modelers. This is something that I've seen at a lot of shows and is always a favourite just because it looks so lovely. I really enjoy seeing aircraft in such unusual schemes, and there's a couple of things on display today that I don't know if I've seen before, but they definitely caught my eye and I thought they looked absolutely amazing. Seeing all these Saunders Row ones here in the middle, and we'll have a look at this because in more detail in a moment, because it's absolutely phenomenal. And of course there's Dornier here as well, which I've always thought is a fascinating aircraft. I love this Finnish F111, reminds me of Midnight Hawk's display, and this is the Dornier 31, a VTOL transport, which is just, it's so forgotten unfortunately. And the Vickers Armstrong 559, which I've always thought just looks so beautifully bizarre. Sutton Coldfield next up, and again a very varied display. There's Thunderbirds, there's Star Wars, there's World War II, Sutton Civil War, other sci-fi, Warhammer. There's a lot on display here, and for a small display, given the size of this show, it's really quite impressive. Now, see, this is an Orc fighter, or it might be an Orc fighter bomber, and we've got a Spitfire here as well, which just is such a contrast, isn't it, seeing Warhammer next to that. And then them all here from Thunderbirds, which is always a lovely sight to see. Heading over to IPMS Birmingham then, and a really lovely display, very World War II heavy, which I have no problem with, and I guess more aviation focused, which, you know, as a plane fan is something I'm always absolutely open to. Really loved the is it a Beaufort there in the very centre. I didn't take a picture of it though, I'm not sure why, but this Mirage is absolutely stunning, particularly with yellow. Yellow is such a hard colour to do, respect. And this Chipmunk here, just, I love the fluorescent iris, just beautiful. We've now arrived at Leicester, and Leicester are a club that I've spoken to many times. I've seen them at a lot of shows, mainly because I've attended a lot of shows as well this year, and their displays are always new, and they were very happy to point out things that I've not seen already. Really love this van broken down with Roadrunner on the side, just looks amazing. And the vehicles they have on display as well, the dioramas are really well done. Also the submarine, which is really cute. I love how it's like in a crate as well. This is a sort of a what if vehicle. Again, a really strong display once again from Leicester. Congrats on this really lovely display. Now we're moving on to the Miniature Armoured Fighting Vehicle Association Warwickshire Armour Modelers. What a mouthful that is. I will say though, having the names of some of the models on the bases really helps someone like me who just sees a tank and goes, yes, that is a tank. This Fiat 2000 is so chunky, I absolutely love it. And this Type 94, like a lot of Japanese tank hats, is just insanely small. And again, this tank hat next to a soldier just makes you realise how tiny they really are. I'm not sure what this is, but it just really captured my eye. And I love seeing this on top of the original model box, it just looks so cute. So that's it for the actual model show itself. Thought I'd just sort of say this is a lot smaller of a show purely because it's a lot of traders. I didn't really want to go around just filming trailers. It felt kind of awkward, so yeah, I just thought I'd show you the clubs that were there. Obviously, make sure you go to their summer show to see their full model show, which hopefully I'll be attending next year. But thanks for joining me on this journey around the small but sweet model show at Coventry Museum. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button and notification bell to be notified of every new video on Mondays. You'll also be able to see me stream live on YouTube. Thanks again, I really appreciate it. Have fun modelling!